I predict that somewhere out there somebody will see this and they'll say to themselves, this is the perfect time for America to take interest in family life. And here is a family that can play. What we don't want to do, Alex, is imitate. We want to make it DePue family musicians.
A father readies his sons for a chance at musical glory.
You're going to have to win them to Bach, right? And you're not going to win them by taking a medal lunch.
He's not training to become the featherweight champion or the bantamweight or the welterweight or the middleweight or the light heavyweight. He's training to become the super heavyweight champion.
This is no game. You're either going to do this well or you're not going to do it at all.
As the sons grow older, will the dreams of the father become their own?
I remember him saying that if you play your cards right and you practice like you should be, someday this will happen to you every night and every time you play, and you will be treated like royalty.
Will early encouragement translate into a lifetime of inspiration?
You can't just quit. You can never quit.
And can the love of music fill the void of personal tragedy?
I say, well, how can I use this as an excuse to make me play better?
A family grows up, on and off stage. Next on Music for Every Occasion, the story of the DePue family musicians. Music for Every Occasion, the story of the DePue family musicians, is made possible by financial support from the D.S. Brown Company, Bowling Green State University, and the supporting members of WBGU-TV. Music can be both essential and incidental to our daily lives. For some, it inspires and uplifts, yet for others, it passes by with barely a notice. In this consumer age, the musician has become another product to be used at our convenience. And much of what we hear has been calculated, categorized, and multiplied for the marketplace. But for the DePue family musicians, making music is a much different experience. For them, it is literally a way of life. And like modern-day minstrels, they wander from stage to stage promising string music for every occasion.
We played at the New York Bowery one time for a Save Your Soul meeting. And we saved 5 times more souls that night than they'd ever had saved in one given time. We have played in fiddle contests all over the state of Ohio. We've played receptions for weddings. We've played in wedding ceremonies. We've played in barns. We've played in Carnegie Hall.
Where there are 2 or more gathered to hear them play, they will play. I can't think of a place they have not played. It would be easier to try and come up with a place they have not played. I don't think it's played on an airplane.
This is the very first concert hall my pride and joy has ever played in. Zachary John is 6 and will now join his brothers in a performance of the Bourrée by George Frederick Handel.
For 18 years, Dr. Wallace DePue has presented his 4 sons to virtually anyone who would stop long enough to listen. Appearing throughout Northwest Ohio and Michigan, They have offered a musical program that ranges from classical to country and popular music. To this family, performing has been as normal as riding a bike, learned first with apprehension, then continued with joy and confidence. And the first step onto a stage has been a shared rite of passage.
My first concert experience was at my church, playing congregational church, and I came up and I played my song, and I just remember everybody standing up, clapping, and I left the stage, and I didn't know what I did. I thought, wow, it was fun, but I didn't know what I did. I didn't know that what I was doing was special. We were so small that they had to put us on top of a table, and this was the first job for money, I'm pretty sure. But they had to put us on top of a table, and so that the rest of the audience could see us. And I remember being so nervous, my leg was shaking so bad that you could hear my foot stomping against the table going while I was playing.
After Dad made a huge introduction, as he always does, you know, he always, and he's done this and that, and here's my son, Jason. And anyway, I think I came out with the violin in two. It was hanging by the strings, and the neck was busted. And that was my debut.
I ran out on stage, grabbed my mom's leg, and wouldn't move. I was frightened by the people. I grabbed her leg and just held on for dear life.
It was a good thing they laughed. I mean, because the violin, even though it wasn't very expensive, it was still, you know, Dad's money that he was paying. So as long as they got a good laugh, then maybe it was worth it. I don't know. It's probably better for them to laugh than to actually hear me play. It was probably a better experience.
When a young musician displays exceptional talent, the audience is both entertained and tantalized. Where does this confidence and virtuosity come from? Are they merely precocious, or is this the beginning of a celebrated career? In the case of the DePue family, the questions multiply by 4, and we find ourselves wondering about the young musicians we see before us. How does their ability and training combine to create such skill? And what makes them want to play? Is it a coincidence that all 4 brothers excel at the violin? Or is their family relationship the very reason they play so well? The more we hear, the more we wonder.
I think you have 4 different personalities, 4 different musicians, 4 different abilities, 4 different ways of doing things, 4 different ways of feeling things. They're totally different. They have one common denominator, Dr. Wallace DePue right there with them.
The deal I made with each of the boys was this. You don't have to be a violinist. When you grow up, you can become whatever you want to be. But I am going to give you the opportunity to become a violinist, if, perchance, that is what you wish to become. Now, you can't, at the age of 15 or 18, decide you're going to be a violinist. You have to decide that early. Now, that's why you're starting at 5 years of age, and by the time you're 18, you can tell me what you want to be. But you will be able to play the violin. The reason is I want you to have every day of the rest of your life a little more beautiful. And that's what will happen if you're able to play the violin.
A father's wish for his sons offers both inspiration and challenge, for a wish is filled with hope, yet often shaped by expectations. And while some fathers content themselves with hoping, Dr. Wallace DePue does not. He has taken each of his sons from the age of 5 and fostered their education on the violin. And with every note they fill their lives with beauty and make their father's wish a reality.